So this is the training that I put together. I actually struggled for many years with my fatigue, my stress, my overwhelm. I'd actually say for the vast majority of my 30s, it took me a really long time to work out what was going on. And I'm going to share a little bit of my story with you today. You may not have heard of it. You may not have heard my story. You may be curious about my story. And I also want to share with you what some of my clients are doing and how their energy is being restored really quickly as well. So if this sounds good and you want to know about this, again, let me know in the comments. I'd love for this to be interactive. I'm going to try and find the Facebook again. You're watching from Bedworth. Hello, Polly, watching from Bristol. Laura's saying hello. Hello, nice to see you all. Okay, let me move on. So I'm going to make this a little bit interesting as well. So when you join me live on the webinar or the Zoom training, there's a really good bonus at the end, and I still want to give that to you, but I'm going to shake it up and make it a little bit more interesting. So every day in the training, I'm going to share a secret letter with you, and you don't know when, which means you have to watch the whole training. And the reason I want you to do that is everything I'm going to share over the next 4 days is equally valuable for you. If you want to get your energy back, if you want to, stop feeling so stressed out, stop feeling overwhelmed, everything that I'm going to share is equally valuable for you. And I don't want you to miss any of it. So I'm going to give you a secret letter each day. So it's going to pop up at some point during this training. And then by Thursday, so 4 days, you're going to have the secret word. And all you've got to do is drop me a private message. That's really easy to do on Facebook. So you'll see my name here in the group. You just click on my name, click message, drop me that private message with that word on, and I'm going to send you this bonus. So you should be able to see it there in the screen. This is my stress and anxiety menu plan. So I do switch up this bonus depending on what I think is relevant at the time. And what I've seen is relevant during lockdown and during Corona, although thankfully we seem to be, lightening up on the lockdown a little bit now. But is that mums are feeling really overwhelmed because we've got a lot more pressure on us, more than normal, especially if you're trying to home educate or homeschool your children. For me, that's completely gone out the window now. My year 6 son has gone back to school, so that's great. And my year 3 child, so my daughter, has no interest in doing it now. It doesn't mean that I've completely given up. It's that constant daily battle. How is that going for you? I know a lot of mums are saying they can't make the training because they're homeschooling or home educating. So it sounds like some of you in this group are really sticking to that, and perhaps it's working well for you. I would love to hear. In fact, share it, because you're going to help other mums if you can share what's working for you or what's not. But if you're anything like me, it's kind of gone out the window. She's doing a little bit of work on the computer right now while I'm running this. But yes, what I was saying was, during lockdown, I've seen more demands on mums, and mums definitely feeling more stressed and overwhelmed. So I put this menu plan together, and it's what to eat for a whole entire week, the foods that are going to support you to feel less stressed and overwhelmed. And honestly, food can make a huge difference. So all the things that we think help us in the short term, it might be the pick me up of the sugar or the caffeine that's helping us get it through it in the short term, actually is not making us feel better, a couple of hours after that. So I want to give you the foods that are going to help you quickly, and ones that are like quick and delicious to make as well. So that's got 10 recipes in it. It's got 5 snacks, and they're really going to help support your mental health. So if you'd like that, just tune in for each of the 4 days, collect the secret letters, and then you'll get the word. And on Thursday, you message that to me, and I would love to send this menu plan to you. And I've had lots of positive feedback actually from women that have said that these recipes are delicious and have really helped them as well. So let me know in the comments on Facebook, is this something that you would like? Is it something you're going to follow along? Are you going to play along with me? Are you going to get the secret word and send me the message? I would love to know if that's your plan. Okay, let's move on. So this is my promise to you for this training. Okay, I'm going to show you the simplest way to get your energy back by rebalancing your hormones naturally, and why perhaps nothing has worked for you in the past. So if you feel like you've tried all the things and none of it's worked, I want to explain to you why this will work. So let me know if that's what you want. Is that what you want, or is it something else that you want? And there's lots of symptoms that go along with this. So I was saying in my Facebook lives last week, you might be suffering from dizziness, you might be suffering from palpitations. All of that is kind of wrapped in with these kind of symptoms. So you can let me know what are your specific symptoms in the chat now, so I can help give you some direction and some clarity around some things that you can try to actually help you with that. Okay, but first of all, I want to know what you can relate to. Okay, so is the way that you're feeling that you are absolutely exhausted every single day, and you feel like you're trying your very, very best to keep healthy? This is what I hear from a lot of women. I'm trying my best to eat healthy, but I'm still feeling exhausted every single day. Is that you? Maybe that's not you. Maybe you know, actually, I'm not healthy at all. I'm far too exhausted. I've not even got the energy to be healthy. So that one may or may not resonate with you. Let me know in the comments if that's you. Or do you feel like you're having to rely on like caffeine? So it might be coffee in the morning, might be tea, or even like Coca-Cola or Diet Cokes to pep you up through the day, relying on sugar. So that might be, you might get your Haribos out, or maybe for you, it's like the chocolate comes out in the evenings or the biscuits mid-afternoon, but you feel like that caffeine and sugar is like propping you up and helping you keep going. Or maybe you feel like you're just on this treadmill, right? I'm on this treadmill, all I'm doing is looking after other people. So I'm looking after my family, I'm trying to work, you know, I'm helping out my friends, and I just feel like I'm giving all the time, and I'm on this treadmill, but I can't see any way off of it, especially if you've got children. Of course, there's no way off of it. Or it feels like there's no way off. So let me know if that's for you. Or maybe it's something else. So again, let me know in the comments. Maybe for you, it's every time your alarm goes off, you can't wake up in the mornings, and then you feel like you're behind for the day. Or maybe you feel like you're trying really hard to maintain your weight. This is another one that I hear. Trying really, really hard to maintain my weight. And I'm either pushing myself in the gym, or I can't get to the gym because I'm too exhausted and haven't got the energy in the first place. So you'd like to lose perhaps a little bit of weight around your belly. That's one that I see with women that are feeling stressed. That's one that's coming up really often. So let me know in the comments now what one it is that you're feeling. So I'm just gonna have a look. Is it vegetarian friendly? Yes, so the whole plan is plant-based. And the reason it's plant-based is, I believe, in my experience and my nutritional training, that is the quickest way to heal. And that doesn't mean that you have to be plant-based, you have to be vegan, you have to be vegetarian. Most people have got like a big repertoire of meals where they know how to cook meat meals, they know how to cook fish meals, or it may be like different people in the family. So maybe your husband's eating meat and you're not. All of the meals are plant-based. So it means that if you want to cook a chicken at the weekend and add some to it, or you want to, you know, add some salmon to it, you can. But they're actually all based on plants, because as I say, it's the quickest way to heal, and it makes sure that it's good for you know, plant-based people, vegans, vegetarians as well. Severe fatigue in the morning, says Polly. Insomnia, yes, that's what I had. Can't concentrate on things mentally and feeling down. Laura says she relates to all. Lynn says she's definitely got sugar cravings. Jelly sweets are your downfall. Yes, I've never really got into sweets. Mine's chocolate. Probably still is chocolate, to be fair. Justine says, yes, I'm playing along, good, and would love this menu plan. I can relate to all of those things that you say so much. It's like, you know exactly how I feel. Yeah, because I'm just a representation of other women, right? So what I felt, there's probably thousands of other women who've gone through the exact same thing. So I'm sharing my story, just finding out if this is relating to you, and then you'll know that if these are the feelings that you're feeling, if I could overcome it, you can too. Let's have a little look. Any more comments? Lynn says constant fatigue, dizziness, difficulty sleeping. Yes, okay, let me carry on for you then. I'm glad that I am relating to you. I'm glad that I'm picking up on kind of your pain points, and this training is going to be really useful to you if you are relating to this. Okay, so this is a big one, right? I want you to stop blaming yourself. What I found over the years is that when you blame yourself all the time, like, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm lazy, I'm a hypochondriac, and I'm going to go through some of this in a moment. When you feel any of that, it actually keeps you stuck. So I want you to know, this is really, really important, ladies, that this is not your fault, okay? This is really, really important that you grasp this and that you believe me as well, okay? So most people, if you're feeling tired all the time, have no idea why they are feeling tired or how to change it. And you may have tried things over the years and they may not have worked for you. But what we need to do is we need to get to the root cause of the problem. We don't want to just keep dealing with the symptoms, like, oh, I've got a headache, and then dealing with that symptom. Oh, I feel tired, and dealing with that symptom. We want to get to what's causing the headache, or what's causing the tiredness, what's causing the overwhelm, the stress, and we want to get to the bottom of that, okay? And then what you need to do is you need to use a methodical approach. So this is another thing I've seen people maybe say, I've tried supplements and they didn't work for me. Well, you need to go back a bit. You know, was you hydrated? Was your gut health good? Was you getting enough vitamins and minerals through your foods to actually build your body back up? Or was you just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying these random things and then realizing none of it worked for you? That's what I see a lot. So, you know, you never had a food education. We learn different things through the media, and one thing seems to contradict another. Don't you agree with that? Do you feel like you hear one thing one day and another thing another day? So this is why I like to, you know, make lots of posts for you, do free trainings for you, put my video on and turn up. So you can decide whether you're relating to what I'm sharing, whether this is the right thing for you. And I do know that it's really hard to know who to trust and what's right. And if you're anything like I was feeling, I would have tried just about anything. Okay, I think I did try just about everything, or it certainly felt that way anyway. So I want to talk to you about what the real problem is. And this is what I see time and time again with the women that I work with. And it's that they have a hormonal imbalance. Okay. And it's very likely that you're feeling a lot of these symptoms. This is what you're struggling with too. And that's what we actually need to deal with, is that hormonal imbalance, and bringing balance back to the body. So you're feeling good with, or you're feeling more energized and you're able to sustain it. That's a really important one, that we don't just get it back temporarily. And that you're able to balance your, your PMS, your headaches, whatever it is that you're feeling. We want to deal with it from the root cause, which is this hormone imbalance. And what doesn't work, okay, is you ignoring it and just pushing on every day. So give me a hands up now in the comments if you feel like, that's me, I do just ignore it and I do just try to push on, because that's what I see with lots of women. And what that causes is a bigger imbalance in the body over time and leads on to more serious things. And we don't want that. We want to balance it out when we've got these warning signs and it's easier to fix, okay? And if you do carry on ignoring it, these are the kind of things that I see it turning into, even more anxiety, autoimmune diseases I see a lot, chronic fatigue. So if you're just feeling tired, sometimes that can actually turn into chronic fatigue where you really cannot get out of bed. And this is beyond a normal tiredness. This is, you're crashing out in the daytimes, you need an afternoon sleep. You're, going to bed at 7 o'clock at night. So some women that I speak to say, as soon as I get home from work, I need to go to bed the second I get in. Okay, that is not normal. We need to see that as a warning sign and we need to address it. I see things like more digestive problems, memory loss, like problems affecting the whole body. So let me know in the comments again, what one is it that you're relating to? Have you already got an autoimmune disease? Have you been diagnosed with chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue, ME, anything like that? What diagnosis have you got? Or do you just know, you haven't got a diagnosis maybe, and you just know that how you're feeling is not normal? I'm going to pop across the comments and have a little look. Justine says definitely me. You're all putting your hands up to say yeah. Okay, thank you. Good. So I know what you're doing is the only thing that you know, and that's why you're pushing on, okay? But this is what I want to teach you in this training over the next 4 days. Some other things that you can do that are going to work, so you can start to rebalance your body and rebalance your hormones, and we're going to do it naturally, okay? Does that sound good? Is that what you want? Okay. So I'm going to share a little bit about me and my story, okay? So this is me with Ava. She was just a wee baby then. You can see she was tiny. She's actually 7 now. And just for context, so you know, I've got an older son as well. So he is 11 now. His name's Oliver. So there's a 3-year age gap between my two. And after I had Ollie, I did actually feel this real massive fatigue, and I didn't really know whether it was new mum fatigue, but it didn't feel like it was. It felt like more than that. Okay, I remember a time when I was driving. I lived in London at the time, my family's in Kent. I remember a time that I was driving and I may have even fallen asleep at the wheel just for like a split second, but I could literally feel my eyes going the whole time. And I had a good night's sleep. He was a really good sleeper. I was very lucky. I followed Gina Ford. So I'm not sure she's so popular now, but she worked for me, which was completely backed out room and routine. I'd finished working full time and I felt like I needed that structure and routine. Like, I don't know how to look after a baby, someone teach me. I'm a lot more in tune with like my instincts now, my natural instincts. I'm not sure that would be my way now, but it worked then. Ollie slept through from 6 weeks, but I was exhausted. And I remember visiting the doctor who tested me for thyroid problems at the time, because it is in my family history, and saying everything came back normal. So I actually ignored it. So exactly what I was saying to you, like, don't ignore it. I actually ignored it because I didn't know what else to do. After I had my daughter, really depleted my body at a much deeper level. And I see this with women after every pregnancy, they're more and more depleted. And I didn't know how to replete myself after pregnancy. And I think in the West, we don't. So if you look at like, Chinese and what they do there, because I love traditional Chinese medicine, I learned a lot about it in my naturopathic nutrition training. They're actually not meant to do anything for 40 days. They have a 40-day rest period where the family looks after them. And I know that we feel that at the time we're actually okay and I'm fine and I can get up and I can do it, and you have guests and you're looking after the guests while you've got a baby, but actually it leaves you depleted longer term. So that's definitely what happened for me. So let me know while I'm sharing this story, again, is this resonating with you? Do you feel like since you've had more children, if you've had children, do you feel more and more depleted? Again, I'm just going to have a little look at the comments. I feel like this too. Anxiety and digestion. Can you get hormone imbalance tested? Yes, you can. But what I've found with the doctors is that they have, you've got your optimal levels, which is when you're feeling like really, really good. And then normally it actually has to go about 30% below those optimal levels before it's even picked up as an imbalance on a test with a doctor's. And so I have lots of women coming to me saying my test results are normal, but I'm feeling awful. And that's what it was for me as well. So that doesn't mean there's nothing we can do, but it might mean for you, certainly was for me, that I took my health into my own hands, rebalanced it naturally before it got to a much bigger problem. I didn't want for it to show up on doctors' tests saying I had an imbalance, because there was a lot more work to do then. This is what I've learned anyway, becoming a nutritionist. So while we've got these small warning signs, we want to react to them and give our body what it needs, okay? And what it needs isn't necessarily medication. What it needs is nutrients, it needs vitamins, it needs minerals, and often we need time as well. So we're rushing about and we actually need to slow down for a little bit. So I'm going to talk about that in this training as well. Yes, definitely. This is Carly. She says baby number 3 is nearly 5 and I feel like I shouldn't be constantly tired anymore. Yeah, so that's a big one, Carly. I have mums come to me and go, they've said during lockdown, I thought it was because I had a busy life and I was rushing everywhere, but in lockdown I haven't rushed anywhere and I'm just as tired. So you've had a similar experience. My youngest is now 5. Should I really be feeling this tired? Before you were able to blame it on other things, and you can no longer do that. So it's really interesting, isn't it? Laura says, good plan. Samantha says, I have one child who's 11, but things have definitely changed since having him. Yes. Polly says she's had tests, but they say no problem, and it doesn't make sense with how I'm feeling. Yes. So listen, I want to empower you as women to tune into your gut instinct and your intuition. Sometimes a professional will tell us nothing's wrong, but we still have this feeling that there is something wrong. So if it is, I guess you've got one of two things. You can go back and you can push more, you can get a second opinion, you can go for more tests. But in the meantime, you don't need to wait for these tests and these results. I'm not saying not to get them. Absolutely see your doctor and find out what your doctor's telling you. That is very, very important. But alongside that, what can you do? Okay, this is your body and your body is your responsibility. When you see a doctor, they only have about 10 minutes to see, to talk to you. They don't have a lot of time to dig into your history. They've got the next person waiting outside, but you are interested in you. So educate yourself and take the actions that you can to help your own body. Let me know if you're feeling like, yes, I want to do that. That's making sense. Or are you just feeling like, it feels too much, it feels too overwhelming, I don't think that's what I need. I'd love to know how you're feeling. Okay, let me go on. Let me go back and tell you how I was feeling. So this is when Ava was a baby. This is when I was kind of realizing this isn't normal, okay? And I was feeling, it's there on the screen, you should be able to see, but I was feeling exhausted with no energy, like at all, not even to do the smallest tasks. Emotional all the time with my family, taking it out on my family, very impatient. I suffered, and I have suffered for 20 years with backache, but it was getting to a crippling, debilitating pain by this stage. So I was diagnosed with pelvic girdle pain while I had Ava, and I know a lot of you watching this will have had that as well, and I had to wear a stability belt and I was only allowed to take tiny steps, and my labour, honestly, the biggest pain was like my back, and that continued for many years, and it really affected my quality of life. So yours might not be backache, it might be something else. That was my story. But I also used to feel very tired and weak. I used to feel dizzy all the time, palpitations, breathless. So let me know what one is it out of these that you're feeling. I know when I done the dizziness post, lots of you commented to say that you was feeling dizzy all the time. And I was doing some coaching this morning. So I've got a program called the Exhausted to Energize Method, and it's a 12-week program. And this is how I best help women. And lots of them were saying in there, like, my dizziness has really gone now and my palpitations have stopped. My balance is feeling a lot better. So they see results quite quickly with that. I had loads of cravings. So it's like every evening I wanted to get the chocolate out, I wanted to get the wine out. I was definitely craving alcohol then. And I actually felt really unsupported. So if I look back, because retrospective is an amazing thing, right? If I look back, I wasn't actually unsupported, but I felt it, because as a mum, we feel like we need to spin all these plates, and I felt like I had to do everything. And again, this is something that we work on in my 12-week program. I tell the mums to go and ask for support, because men, normally, if you've got a partner, if you tell them what to do or you ask them what to do, they'll do it, but they won't see it for themselves. So a lot of the time we're struggling and we're pushing on without the help, but the help is there if we were to ask for it. Okay, so let me know, as I say in the comments, what one is it that you're feeling? Have you got breathlessness? Have you got palpitations? Have you got dizziness? Do you feel shaky? Do you feel weak? Have you got cravings? Just going to check if I'm up to date with the comments. Carly says she feels it all. My list would be exactly the same. Laura says yes, definitely. Samantha said I spent 7 years trying to get pregnant with all sorts of treatments, including IVF. I think I'm up to date with the comments. Thank you for sharing. Keep sharing with me. It's really good to find out exactly how you're feeling. So basically, all I wanted then was to feel good enough to look after my children, but genuinely, I didn't feel like I had the energy to do that. And that is all I was doing at that point. I wasn't trying to work as well, so I don't know how I would have put that in on top. I was trying things. Let you tell me what you're trying. I was trying things like, not things really to fix my health, but oh, I've got baby weight I want to lose. I'm going to try the body coach. I'm going to try paleo, all sorts of diets. And I actually lost the weight very quickly. So diets did work for me, but they didn't make me feel better. In fact, they made me feel worse. So that's when I knew, okay, this is not what I need. I'm not giving my body what it needs. I was also trying to exercise lots, which was a little bit older than that, because I was thinking it's going to help with my back pain. It's going to help with my energy, right? But the type of exercise I was doing was pushing myself. So let me know if you are, have you even got the energy to exercise, and what kind of exercise are you doing? So are you doing things like training for a marathon or doing HIIT training, this real pushing? And if the rest of your life is like that, busy, pushing, perhaps that isn't the right exercise for you right now. We are all different, but if you're feeling very depleted, it's taking you a long time to recover from your exercise, you're getting a banging headache or a migraine. I used to get that all the time after exercising, and I just wasn't tuning into what my body was telling me. So it was telling me, you're exhausted, this isn't helping, stop it. And I just thought I was weak. That's what I genuinely thought. Okay. So really, I would say that I was feeling miserable by this point, okay? And it wasn't the quality of life I wanted for myself. And I guess if you resonate in any way, this is not the quality that you want for your life either, okay? It's not fun when you feel like this. So I want to tell you and share with you what's possible. And you have to tell me whether you believe it, whether you actually think this is possible, okay? You can wake up without needing to keep hitting that snooze button on repeat. That is possible, okay? If you feel like you're having to rely on too many convenience meals or takeouts because you just haven't got the energy and you're feeling guilty about that, you can have the energy to cook fresh, healthy meals every single day. In fact, the type of meals that I share are really quick and really easy as well, so that's extra bonuses. If you're having a takeaway or a convenience meal because you want to, everything I share isn't actually super strict, because I think that when you follow things so strictly, it's very hard to stick to things long term. So, you know, it's not best for your health to have those kind of meals. But look, we can look at balance, okay? So if you're doing it out of choice, and it's not too often, it may be okay for you. But if you're doing it and you're feeling guilty, we don't want that. So you can have the energy to cook fresh, healthy meals if that's important to you. You can have the energy to look after your family, to go to work, and this is a really big one, right? Have the energy left for fun afterwards. So tell me if that's what you want. Do you even remember what fun is? A lot of the time when I work with women and I say, what do you do for fun? They don't even know what's fun for them anymore. And they have to spend a matter of weeks actually working out how to have fun again, okay? And you can have all of that. You can have the energy to stop, you know, giving into your cravings, or in fact, you won't even have your cravings anymore. When you're balancing your blood sugar levels out properly, you don't keep having these cravings. So your blood sugar levels will be balanced. And I want you to be able to no longer feel, you know, stressed out and overwhelmed and take it out on your partner and children. That was something that I felt really guilty about. So let me know again if that's you. Do you feel guilty when you're impatient, when you're moody, or, you know, women say, you know, I'm just not nice to be around. I wouldn't want to be around me. And, you know, they're hard admissions to make, but when you've got to that point, then you know that you want to change it. So that's when you can do something about it. So you can feel calm, happy, confident, energized again. So what one is it that you want? Do you want to spring out of bed with energy? Do you want to have fun again? Do you want to be more patient, more kind, more loving? What is it that you want? Tell me in the comments. I want to know, you know, why have you showed up today? What one best describes you? So very quickly, if you don't know a lot about me, if you haven't followed me for very long, I am Hannah Carr. I run the Nourished Body, which is my company. My program is called the Exhausted to Energize Method. And what I do every single day is help women to balance their hormones naturally and restore their energy. Okay, that's really important work for me, my life's work. And there's my children, there they are now. So Ava and Oliver, and that was our puppy. He was, I think, 3 months old then, he's about 8 months old now. And that's my husband, John. So you know a little bit about me. I am a massive foodie. I always have been a huge foodie. This is probably why I'm not a stick thin nutritionist, okay? Because I love food, I always have, and I'm sure I always will. But I have changed the kind of foods I eat. I am certainly not perfect, and that's not what I teach in my program either. It's all about balance, having fun, and being able to fit in with your family as well, but prioritizing yourself first. So if you just keep fitting in with everyone else and trying to make your life easy, your health is not going to get better. So you do need to prioritize yourself a little bit, okay? And yeah, so a lot of the food I've eaten has changed over the years, but it opened up a whole new world of like new healthy restaurants to go to and find out about. And that's really exciting as well. Something else, I love yoga. I teach a little bit of yoga. I keep up with my own regular yoga practice. And I forgot how to have fun for a lot of years, which really didn't help with, like, you know, I felt like I was on that hamster wheel, that treadmill all the time. Keep going, keep going, keep going, nothing to look forward to because I didn't have the energy. So now I do things like drum lessons and dance lessons and see my friends regularly and do moon groups, and you know, I've got a few multiple things that I do in my business, and I've got the energy to do all of that. Now it doesn't mean that you are never ever going to feel tired. If you burn the candle at both ends, or you push yourself, or you work a little bit too hard, you're going to feel natural levels of tiredness. That's normal, right? But genuinely I've got the energy that I need to be. Big one for me was kind, patient, loving with my family, and have time and energy for fun. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. Okay, so back when I was feeling tired all the time, embarrassing picture here, after I'd had, oh, secret letter. I wrote that on that slide, so I didn't forget the secret letter. Listen up, it's time for the secret letter. So grab your pen and your paper, and the secret letter for today is M. So M for Mike, or M for mother. Yeah, M. So secret letter for today is M. Now, if you're like, what's the secret letter? What are you going on about, Hannah? Collect a secret letter over the next 4 days. Okay, and then that secret letter is going to spell a word, and then you can get my free bonus, which is my stress and anxiety menu plan, which is really going to help you deal with some of those emotions and some of those mental health challenges. Okay, so back to the training. This is when I was feeling exhausted and emotional. This is when I was just surviving every single day, when I was having too much coffee, having too many convenient snacks, and feeling close to tears a lot of the time. I had this agonizing back pain that I mentioned earlier. I was impatient, I was unkind a lot of the time. And I probably wouldn't have said back then that I was suffering with anxiety or overwhelmed, because I wouldn't have wanted to admit it to myself. I was just stuck in that hamster wheel, keep on going. But if I look back, that's exactly how I was feeling. So let me know if you feel like you're suffering with anxiety, if you feel like you're suffering with overwhelm. It's definitely how I was feeling every single day. And I had this one like standout memory of this morning. I got up, I was feeling dizzy, I was feeling, I had palpitations, and I felt exhausted. And I thought, let me just walk, let me get some fresh air, let me walk to a local coffee shop, let me, you know, grab a coffee, I feel better. And I didn't, I felt worse. So my palpitations were really, you know, banging out of my chest. I felt faint, I felt shaky, and I just felt like this is not a normal way to carry on. So I didn't actually know that I was doing more harm than good with my food choices, with like pastry and coffee. I know they're not good for me, but I didn't know that they was causing those problems specifically, but they were, okay. But I bet I'm not the only one who's causing more harm than good. So let me know in the comments if you feel like, yeah, sometimes I rely on coffee, or sometimes I rely on sugary drinks, or, you know, Haribos. They are great short-term coping strategies, but they're not helping you in the long term. So let me know. I'm just going to take a sip of my water if you feel like you're relying on any of that. So what changed? Okay, everything, all success is predicated on you making a decision, and I made that decision. I'm at rock bottom. My doctors told me that they can't help. I've spending hundreds, probably thousands of pounds in total on so many different specialists. I saw acupuncturists, physiotherapists, osteopaths, chiropractors. I tried more exercise, I tried more sleep, I tried different diets, and a lot of that actually helped, okay, and it helped in the short term. So if I saw a chiropractor, say for the pain in my back, it would feel much better for like the following week, but it wouldn't take very long for it to come back again. I need to keep spending that money and keep seeing those professionals. They definitely help me get through those periods of pain. So I'm absolutely not knocking those therapists. All therapists bring, you know, help to the world. But for me, it wasn't a long-term solution. So I was push to find this long-term solution. So I would love to know what have you tried? Have you tried different diets? Have you tried different supplements? Have you tried different therapists? Let me have a little look in the comments and see if you're sharing anything with me. I'd love for you to share. Due to go back to work soon after maternity leave, feeling really overwhelmed and anxious, as so tired and dizzy. Lynn, yes. Polly says chocolate when she feels tired. Justine says chocolate, coffee and wine to get through the day. Sian says yes. Don't know how to scroll down to see more comments, but I can see the last 4. Thank you for sharing that. So I was wondering, right, who was left that could help me? And I was really stumped. I actually paid to see a private doctor as well. So I saw my doctor who said nothing was wrong. And then I paid to see a private doctor. And I said to my husband, look, I need to have every single test going. Like, we need to find the money to see a private doctor because something is seriously wrong. When I saw the private doctor, every single test came back like completely fine. And I remember feeling really down then, thinking like, I've spent all this money and nothing's helping. And then I remembered that I'd seen a nutritionist. So my son, I've mentioned earlier that I'm a real foodie, so is my husband. We thought we'd have foodie children because that's what happens, right? In your dreams. Not in reality. We had a really, really fussy eater child. And it was very, very painful, very emotional. If anyone's got a fussy eater, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I remember seeing a nutritionist, and that nutritionist really helped us get his fussy eating under control. And so I thought, oh, maybe that nutritionist could help me. So I needed to spend more money. I was scared to spend more money, scared to keep investing in myself because I hadn't found the solution so far, but I knew I had no other option. That's literally what I felt like. I had no other option because I needed to find out what was causing this. Okay, so that's when I went to see a nutritionist, and honestly, that's when things changed really, really quickly for me. So after I saw a nutritionist, I then I worked with her for a while, and then I decided to study nutrition, not because I decided, oh, I want to have this new career. I actually decided that I love this. I want to learn more. I want to help myself more. She actually helped me a lot with my energy, but not with my back pain at all. So I studied nutrition for myself to begin with. And then I had lots of people telling me, you're going to do this for a job, which I didn't quite believe at the time because I was running another business. But, you know, it's funny where life takes you, right? So this has kind of led me on this journey to where I am today. That education has helped me, you know, develop a method that's been able to help, well, countless women now. I've got lots and lots of women in the program, and everyone is seeing really, really good results. Everyone's journey is slightly different. So some people are going to see results really quickly. Other people take a little bit longer. Some people will have ups and downs. All of that is completely normal. But what we are looking for is women to be consistent in their actions. Okay. It took you a little while to reach this point. It will take you a little while to recover from it, but you can actually start seeing some progress very, very quickly, which is really, really exciting. And I truly believe that when you know better, you do better. So this training will definitely help you. Okay, let me just, I did. I felt, I wanted to share here how I did feel overwhelmed. Someone said in the comments that they're feeling overwhelmed. You know, studying nutrition and running a business and having 2 small children was really difficult. I spent many hours doing it. I remember when I was studying, feeling really tired, even just to stay awake and listen to the training, let alone all the traveling that went along with it and packing 2 small children up. And it took a lot of tenacity, but I'm so glad that I pushed through that. And it doesn't have to be that difficult for you. You don't need to study nutrition. You can get a lot from this training. Like I say, I run the Exhausted to Energize method, where I literally give you the step-by-step instructions to restore and sustain your energy and give you the support and accountability, which I think is missing in a lot of programs and a lot of stuff that I see online. And even when you work with a nutritionist one-to-one, this is how I used to work with clients one-to-one. If you are not checking in every single week, it's probably, unless you're like real A-type where you just need to be told what to do and you go and do it, if you feel like you're balancing all the things and it's hard for you to stick to things, which for most busy mums it is, you need more accountability and support. And this is what I found makes the biggest difference for women to be able to make sustainable long-term changes. So what did I discover? This is what I want to share with you. This is getting into the juicy bit. So I discovered, and this will be the same for you, and this is a bit like going back to the it's not your fault. I discovered that I wasn't just lazy for not being able to wake up in the mornings, because that's what I used to tell myself, especially when my mother-in-law used to stay with me and I felt like I wasn't getting up early enough for someone else's expectations. I used to tell myself that I'm lazy. I discovered that despite seeing a doctor, a private doctor, and them telling me nothing was wrong, there really was something wrong. So it wasn't that I was just being a hypochondriac, believing that I was tired and exhausted and overwhelmed. I actually was. And I discovered that it wasn't that I didn't have enough willpower, because that was another one, self-talk. Do you do this one? Okay. I have no willpower because I keep eating chocolate, or I have no willpower because I keep needing coffee. Or for me, I had no willpower because I kept craving alcohol. Okay, let me know if that's how you feel. Do you believe that you haven't got enough willpower? It wasn't that at all. Okay, and when I was working out and feeling exhausted afterwards, I'd tell myself that I was just weak. That was a big one. I'm so weak that I can't keep up with everyone else in the gym. Nope, wasn't that either. Okay, and none of those labels or that self-talk is helpful. So if you're doing that, and I bet you are doing it, let me know in the comments if you're doing that. Just stop that now. Okay, catch yourself doing it and stop. Because if you think about your children, and when you're trying to motivate them to do better, you don't criticize them, and criticizing yourself is not going to help you. What you will do to your children is you'll positively encourage them, and that's what we need to do for ourselves. We need to be our own biggest champion. And I know it doesn't come naturally, but let me keep saying it to you, and let me drill it into you, that we need to be our own biggest champion, and we need to celebrate our small wins, so we want to keep taking action. Okay, what I figured out was that I had a massive imbalance. Okay, this was my hormonal imbalance, and once I addressed that imbalance, then everything started to change, and quickly. Okay, and this is what I want for you. I want you to be able to skip over the Googling, the trials and errors. There's so much information out there. Like, we are overloaded with information, but you need to know the right steps that you need to take as a busy mum to balance your hormones, and that's what I can share with you. Okay, and you don't need more sleep, and you don't necessarily need to medicate. Okay, if you've been diagnosed with a condition, it may be that you need your medication, but if you're just feeling like you need medication to get more energy, it's probably not the medication that's going to help you do that long term. Okay, and you don't need to keep relying on coffee, wine, chocolate, whatever it is that you're relying on, your sweets. You don't need to do that, okay, because it's a simpler way. So let me know if that's what you really, really want. And I want to share, I'm not special and my clients aren't special. We're all starting in the same spot. So I want to share an example of, not just me who's done it. If you're interested in this group, Fight Fatigue, Stress and Overwhelm Naturally, I've got a unit section. And in the unit section, under the Exhausted to Energized method, there's lots of videos where I've interviewed women who've done the program with me, and they're sharing their experience. So you can go and check out how it's worked for others. But this is one client that I worked with, Becky, and she felt really dubious about working with me. And because I always ask people, did you have any hesitations in working with me? And there'll be all different reasons, but her reason was, I thought that you'd only tell me stuff that I could find online. Okay, to give you a bit of context, she is a school teacher. You can see there that she's got one gorgeous daughter. She's married as well, and she tried piecing stuff together, because as you do, she tried piecing stuff together, but it didn't work for her. She was still feeling exhausted all the time. Okay, so once she actually found out what her body needed, and she decided to invest in herself, then she couldn't believe how quickly the energy started to come back. So she had fibromyalgia, she was on medication, and she decided just 3 weeks in that she didn't need her medication anymore because she was feeling so good. So obviously she consulted with her doctor, and you do have to do things gradually. We always work in a very gradual and gentle way with the body. But she made that decision that she didn't need that anymore, and that energy returned really, really quickly for her. So I work with women who have got diagnosis, might be chronic fatigue, ME, adrenal fatigue, or no diagnosis. It may just be that that your digestion is really, really weak. We might be having IBS symptoms. A lot of women have PMS symptoms. It might be around the time of ovulation or around the time of the period themselves. All sorts of different symptoms. But the main problem is that they're feeling tired all the time, and probably stressed and overwhelmed as well. So I want you to imagine now that you can stop feeling exhausted all the time, okay? And that you can stop surviving each day, but you can start to thrive. Do you want that? Is that what you want? You can wake up with ease, you can get organized for your day ahead. That's a really big one that I see, that you keep snoozing the alarm and then you're behind for the day, and then like the kids have got all these demands on you and you don't end up having breakfast and you end up rushing out the door, so you're not looking after yourself. And if you have any stubborn weight around your belly, then that is a natural side effect of actually balancing your hormones and looking after your body and giving your body what it needs. Most people lose weight naturally as well, so let me know if that's what you want. So what we're going to talk about tomorrow is we're going to dive into the 3 secrets. It's taking a bit longer than I thought today, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Has that like set the tone for you? Are you feeling like, yes, this is what I really need to know? Okay, so what I'm going to be doing over the next 3 days is going over the 3 secrets. So these are the 3 secrets that I use to restore and sustain my energy, the biggest 3 things that make the biggest difference, and I want to share that with you. And the first one tomorrow is we're going to be talking about, because so many mums I work with rely on the coffee, the sweet treats to boost their energy, which I don't want you to blame yourself if you're doing that, because it's normal, because like I said already, it's a great short-term coping strategy, but it does not help your longer-term health. So the first secret that I'm going to be sharing tomorrow is actually the effect on your longer term health if you are doing that right now. So let me know if you're going to join me. I'm going to be back on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday at 12 o'clock every day, and we're going to be going through a different secret every single day. Yes, Samantha says stubborn weight around the belly. Laura says she's weak, cautious because of the dizziness. Laura says, see you tomorrow. Lynn says, sounds super helpful. Brilliant. So I will see you all back here at 12 o'clock tomorrow. The next 3 days will probably be a little bit quicker than today. And let's get this information over to you so you can start making a difference with your energy. It's really nice to connect with lots of you today. And I will see you then. Bye, guys.